Hello students, my name is Arshan and today we will do the 6th chapter of your Honeycomb textbook of NCERT class 7th, and the name of the chapter is Expert Detectives. So student, this prose is an excerpt from Sharda Dwivedi's The Broken Flute. This conversation, students, particularly is a conversation between a boy and a girl, and this conversation is in the perspective of the girl, which is named Maya, and the boy, he is named Nishad. As you students might not know that Nishad means the 7th note on the musical scale, and that is why he is called 7 various times in this chapter as well. Now, the 10-year-old sister, that is Maya, is very curious about one Mr. Nath. One day, the children's marble rolls into Mr. Nath's room, and Nishad get a chance to see him. Is he a crook on the run? Why is his face badly scarred? Why has he no friends? Nishad's mother, which is a doctor, knows Mr. Nath as a patient who is very polite. Now let us see what happened next. As we walked towards the clinic, 7 said, "He doesn't look anything like a monster, Maya. But did you see how thin he is? Maybe he is very poor and can't afford to eat." "He can't be poor if he is a crook on the run," I told him. "Probably got millions of rupees stashed away somewhere in that room." So students, this is a conversation between Nishad and Maya. And this conversation is in the perspective of Maya. Now they both are talking about Mr. Nath. Students, here stashed away means hidden away. Just like you people sometimes stashed away your chocolates from your younger brother or sister. Let us continue now. Nishad said, "Do you really think he is a criminal, Maya? He doesn't look like one." "Of course he is 1/7, I said. "And he certainly isn't starving. Mr. Mehta told us that Ramesh brings his meals up from the restaurant downstairs." "But Maya, Mr. Mehta told us he doesn't work anywhere. So how can he possibly have money to pay for food?" Nishad said. "Exactly," I exclaimed. "He must have lots of money hidden somewhere. Maybe in that trunk in his room. It's probably full of silver and gold and jewels and—" "What rubbish!" Nishad interrupted Maya. "I know I am right, stupid," I told him. "By the way, 7, did you see his scars?" "I couldn't. It was too dark. But I bet he got them during a shootout with the police or something." "Mummy told us quite clearly they were burn scars," Nishad said firmly to Maya. "Perhaps the police had to set his house on fire to force him out," I suggested. 7 was looking in an unsure way at me. Following Mama's birthday, 7 went alone with her to the clinic at Girgaon, as I was spending the evening with a school friend. When they returned, Nishad told me he had been to see Mr. Nath, and I felt most annoyed that I hadn't been there. 7 had been quite upset about Mr. Nath's gaunt appearance. Gaunt, student, means sickly and lean. And 7 was sure that he was starving. He told me that he had knocked loudly on Mr. Nath's door that evening and said, "Open the door quickly, Mr. Nath." The man had opened it and asked him, "Lost another marble?" He had obviously recognized my brother. "No," said Nishad. He had taken the man's hand in his own and thrust a bar of chocolate into it. "Did you get a chance to peek into the trunk, 7? I asked. Nishad looked disappointed. "He didn't even ask me in," he said. Then he smiled. "But I did find out something, Maya. I went down to the restaurant where Ramesh works and talked to him." So, to continue further, "Good for you, Mr. Detective," I said, patting him on the back. "I hope you questioned him properly." 7 looked pleased. "Ramesh told me that he takes 2 meals for Mr. Nath every morning and evening, morning and one in the afternoon. Ramesh says he is not very particular about what he eats. It's always the same food, 2 chapatis, some dal and a vegetable. Mr. Nath pays cash and tips well. Well, Ramesh also told me something very strange, Maya. 7 added this into conversation. 7 said, almost every Sunday he carries 2 lunches to Mr. Nath's room, and the same man is with him each time. He is tall, fair, stout and wears spectacles. Ramesh says his visitor talks a lot, unlike Mr. Nath who hardly speaks. Well done, Nishad, I told him. Now that we have made some progress with our enquiries, we'll have to sort out all the facts like expert detectives so that we can trap the crook. Well students, crook means criminals or someone who commits a crime. Now to continue the story, on listening this, Nishad said, how you do go on, Maya? How can you possibly imagine he's a crook? He looks so ordinary. Criminals look quite ordinary, smarty, I retorted. Did you see the picture of Hyderabadi housebreaker in the papers yesterday? He looked like any man on the street. Nishad now looked doubtful. The monsoons broke the next day. Dark clouds accompanied by blinding flashes of lightning and roaring roars of thunder burst with all their fury, flooding the streets with a heavy downpour. School was to have reopened after the summer holidays, but no traffic could move through the flooded roads, and there was an unexpected holiday. I thought I'd spend the time usefully. I sat at my desk in our bedroom with a sheet of paper before me. So students, till now we have read and understood in this story that Maya is very much peculiar about Mr. Nath. She is not trusting him and she even thinks that he is a crook or a criminal that is running away from police and is hiding some jewels or cash into his room. Whereas on the other hand, Nishad is also very much certain that he is a poor lean man who is sick and maybe he has some financial problems as well. But what happens next? We will learn about this in the part 2 of this chapter. Now students, it is time for comprehension check. In this comprehension students, we will do the following question and answers. And the first question is, what did Nishad give Mr. Nath and why? Well, to answer this question students, Nishad gave Mr. Nath a bar of chocolate because he concluded from Mr. Nath's lean and thin appearance that he was starving. He was very much sympathetic. Now on to the second question. The question is, what is strange about Mr. Nath's Sundays? To answer this question students, every Sunday Mr. Nath used to have same visitor at this home and also the two used to have lunch together as well. Okay students, now we are on to the third question. The third question is, why did Nishad and Maya get a holiday? To answer this students, it was raining heavily and the streets were flooded with the downpour. The traffic was blocked and the children got a holiday because of all these situations. I am sure students you can write these answers into your own language in your notebook as well. So students, with this we are at the end of part 1 and there are a lot of interesting characters and topics in this story. Who is that man who is visiting Mr. Nath, and is Mr. Nath really a criminal? Well, who is right, whether Maya or Nishad? We will learn about this into the second part of this chapter. Also students, don't forget to read this part 1 of this chapter once again so as to get the actual thrill of expert detectives. Till then, I will take your leave and we will meet next time with second part of this chapter. Bye bye.